A few days ago, I watched a video of a young man who attempted to commit suicide in Lagos. As expected, Nigeria's thoughts turned into a meme. One meme said, "After voting for Tinubu as president, you want to commit suicide and die? No way. All of us must experience the Shege Banza Pro Max. My people in Lagos, be on the lookout for people like him. They aren't going anywhere." Funny, some will say, but nothing funny about it at all. Kudos to the brave people who saved this young man from taking his own life. There's something about adversity that brings out the worst in some and the best in others. Charles R. Swindoll summed it up best when he said, "Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it." Think about it. The pioneers who discovered new territories encountered battles, sickness, and disease, adverse storms, but those who persevered reached the shores of new territories. Today, we stand on the shoulders of great men and women who came before us, those who never quit. They created inventions that made life easier, created new medicine that ensured that the simplest disease no longer kills large swaths of our population. For everything you see around you today is a story behind it, and trust me, not all the journeys were straightforward. But here we are, using products and services because someone dared to persevere. I will tell you a few real-life stories of adversity some individuals faced. There's nothing special about these stories, but they are relatable. The first story is of a guy who was out of town on a trip to Lagos, and whilst there, he received a call from his wife that EFCC officials had stormed their house looking for him. They carted away all their vehicles and took his wife in tow and said they wouldn't release her until he showed up. Even as his wife was relating to him what was going on, the whole drama was being broadcast live on social media. He traveled back to Abuja, determined to face his accusers and to inquire why any law enforcement agency will seek to humiliate anyone in that manner without due process. The worst thing for him was that the head of the agency was someone who was supposed to be a friend to him. As he arrived at the agency, they released his wife and gave him the petition written against him to read. It was clear that everyone knew that the petition was bogus and without merit, but they were bent on acting out a script since it was political season. At that moment, he felt it was the end of his world. The second story is about a man whose wife took ill. They ran a series of tests in hospitals in different parts of the world, but there was no explanation for her sickness. As she kept dropping in size daily, he feared the worst. If science can't explain his wife's sickness, what next? She will look into his eyes and say, "Am I dying? What's wrong with me?" And his response will always be, "You're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with you." On some occasions, he will even say to her, "You've added weight." As she slept at night, he will cuddle the bag of bones and cry quietly as he wondered how he will raise their kids alone if their worst fears came to pass. The third story is of a guy who was in a position that most people would have killed to be in. His relative was in a powerful or lucrative position with the government, but overnight, his life took on different twists and turns. Banks he had used for almost 2 decades closed his accounts because he was what they now consider a politically exposed person, otherwise known as PEP. Those who wanted to get at his relative will sponsor all sorts of stories in the media accusing him of any and all things. For some of them, his relative was not deserving of his position because he was an Igbo man in supposedly Hausa government, and for others, he was not a party man, so why give him this position? This man became a casualty of war and at some point told in no uncertain terms to leave Nigeria and ask his brother to resign or else. So he left Nigeria for a season to save his life. The fourth story is of a guy who was convinced by someone he trusted to buy a private jet, or PJ as some call it, after investing a few million euros as down payment to finance the plane. He gave it to the same person to manage. He never set his foot into the aircraft, since as far as he was concerned, the primary purpose of the acquisition was for the charter business. To cut this story short, In less than 6 months, he lost his money and he lost his aircraft. All the stories you have heard are about me and some adversities I faced in the last 10 years. It's very easy to set your sights low when confronted with the winds of adversity. It's very easy to alter course when there's a mountain before you. It's very easy to quit the race when the obstacles seem insurmountable. But in all of this, we must never forget our why. Our why is our reason for anything and everything. If there's one thing I have learned in life, it's that tomorrow never dies. Tomorrow will surely come, and God always comes through for us. Whatever life throws at me today, I look back at moments when I had felt surely this is the end. And then I put my game face and face the world. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. God happened to them all. I cannot describe to you today how I felt when I went through the trials I have narrated. No matter how many times people will say sorry to you or say I understand, in that particular moment, you know they're just speaking Greek. I can also tell you this for free. No matter the obstacles, turmoils, trials, and tribulations you might be experiencing today, going back to Egypt is not an option. Stay the course. This wilderness is your refinery. You will surely get to the promised land because tomorrow never dies. God bless you all.